Hi everybody, it's Nicole. I'm Queer Mom Acing It here on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok. And I just got back from a month-long trip back to the States. We spent Christmas with our family back stateside, and that was a lot of fun. But while I was there, I didn't have any time for filming, but I did think it would be really fun to share with you all what I took with me on that trip. So I've got this wonderful makeup bag that my sister gave to me years ago. And the last time I went to the States, I had the problem of I just took way too much makeup. And there were a lot of reasons for that, but none of those reasons really applied to this trip. So I had it my goal to only take what could fit in this bag, minus makeup brushes. I was like, because makeup brushes, they just take up a lot of space. And I knew I wouldn't have the opportunity to clean any makeup brushes while I was there. That was a lot of rambling about makeup brushes. Anyway, the point was, this is what I brought. And before I unpacked it, I wanted to share with you guys like what I took with me. And then kind of review like what I did end up using and what I didn't. So let's just open this up. First thing on top, we've got makeup sponges. Did I use this one? Yes. No, I did not use this one. So I really should have only brought this one. This is a Wet n Wild makeup sponge. This one is from their Care Bears collection. You can see it's got the bedtime bear tummy badge on it. So cute. Also, the Wet n Wild sponges are just the best budget-friendly sponges I have ever found. At least stateside. I found some that I like here in Japan, but so, and then these ones are, I don't remember what brand this is. This is some Walmart brand. I don't like these as much. Like, I really liked them until I tried the Wet n Wild sponges. I'm gonna go let my dog out. She's been sleeping on the couch peacefully for hours, but as soon as I try to film, she wants outside. Okay. We're just gonna start at the top and work our way down. Next up is the ColourPop Super Shock Bronzer in the shade Get Sandy. If you can see the significant dent I've made into this, I use this basically every day. Every day I was there, I used this. I was not expecting to, but I like it. I do. I like it. It makes me really excited to try other putty bronzers, you know, from brands that I can actually stand behind. I bought this one before ColourPop did its kind of shady stuff. I will be making a video on a kind of related topic in which I will talk about the issues with ColourPop if you don't already know. If you don't want to wait for that, Scars to Stars Beauty here on not Instagram, she is on Instagram, but here on YouTube has another video on that, and she briefly touches on it in her trans inclusive beauty tag, I think is what it's called. But she links another video that really elucidates on it. So I would really recommend that. One, I will always recommend Scars to Stars Beauty. She is amazing. But anyway, okay, I used this a lot. I think I'm really being won over on putty bronzers, to be honest. I'm gonna do all the lipsticks at once, so I'm just gonna unbury things. This is the one of two foundations that I took because I wasn't really sure what my skin was going to do. We spent the first week in Southern California, and then we spent the rest of the trip in Oregon. So I wasn't sure like what skin tone I was going to be. So this is one of my lighter foundations. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Long Wear Foundation. I have mine in the shade 105, which if I'm not mistaken is the lightest shade they make, because yeah, that's just how it works. I really like this foundation. I did find, however, that it was not the best foundation for spending all day at Disneyland, because we took our kids to Disneyland. That's why we're in California. It just didn't last as long as my other foundation did. I did use this probably about half the trip. I ended up using this because my other foundation, which I'll show here in a second, plus the bronzer just really way over tanned me for the middle of winter at the Pacific Northwest. So I didn't use that every day, but I didn't use it every day, but I did use it. I found that I used it most of the time that we were in Oregon. The other one I have is the Pretty Fresh from ColourPop. I again run into the ColourPop problem, but this is in the shade Fair 30N. This was my first like really accurate foundation match. So I really love it for that. In combination with my Holy Grail primer, it lasts for a really long time. So for those things, I really love this foundation. Speaking of that primer, it is the Wet n Wild Impossible primer. Yes. It is a mattifying primer. I really like this. Like if I'm trying a new foundation, I want to give it the best chance possible, this is the one that I use. I have a bunch of other primers, but this is the one that I reach for the most. When it's out, I'll probably try to use up the other primers that I have before I buy another one, especially since I'm on a no-buy right now, which that's another story, and I'll get to that in a different video. I'm already talking too much. Oh, this is the primer serum from Wet n Wild. This is the Care Bears Brighten Your Day primer serum. This is their vitamin C primer serum. This itself is not a limited edition. This packaging is, but they do have this formula available on their website. This has a little bit, I don't know if you can see it on camera. Yeah, see, it's got a bit of a shimmer and a sparkle in there. So when you apply it, it does leave a bit of that shimmer on your face, but I've never found that it causes a problem mixing with my foundations, especially since I put the Impossible primer over top of this. I usually end up putting this one on as like a primer, if that makes any sense. Just like to really like get my face ready for the whole makeup process. Feels really nice, smells deliciously of citrus. I love citrus smelling things. I really like this. Plus, I mean, it's got my favorite Care Bear on it. That was never not gonna be a win. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, this is my Holy Grail concealer. This is the Pretty Fresh ColourPop concealer. This is the Hyaluronic creamy concealer in the shade Fair 10N. I'm one of those people that I really enjoy a concealer that is at least 1 to 2 shades lighter than my foundation. I really enjoy it. I think it's because I usually have dark circles under my eyes just from pigmentation. I have insomnia, all that jazz. So I really prefer something that like brightens up the under eyes. And I really like this. This is really great for when you are an old person like me, and you start to have like fine lines underneath your eyes. Of course, the best thing to do is to hydrate and hydrate lots while you're young and continue to hydrate as you get older. But for those of us for whom it is already too late, I do find that this is a really good primer. I don't have to set it afterward. It dries down to just about a powder. And I don't have a lot of problem with it like settling into my fine lines. Some days my fine lines just show up more than others, but it's never to do with the concealer. Like on days when my fine lines are just like really prominent, I just don't put concealer on because it is going to make them more visible, but not because it's settling into the fine lines, just because it like highlights them, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I mean, I still run into the ColourPop problem there. I firmly believe that you can own problematic brands, no problems. There's no problems. It's when you continue to buy from problematic brands while they're still being problematic, when you become part of the problem yourself. I'm never going to tell somebody to like throw out their ColourPop, throw out their Jeffree Star or whatever. Like, you bought it, it's yours now. I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to I don't tag it in my Instagram posts, all of that jazz. Because there are better brands out there that deserve your money more. Ones that actually believe the right things, and, stand by those things. So, I mean, I personally find that the more that I can shop indie, the better I feel morally about my consumption choices. But I also know that that's not an option for everybody. I also know that I paid money for this stuff. I'm gonna use it. I don't have money to just throw out all of a brand when they do something problematic, especially with in ColourPop's case, there is time for them to come back from that. So I'm not willing to write off the brand completely because, it is a corporation. There's a lot of people in it. There's a lot of moving cogs, and sometimes they slip. But they always the more people involved, the less I am likely to hold that specific brand accountable for what one person does or for one slightly problematic decision. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to buy from them for a while. I'm starting to get into territory I'm going to talk about in another video. I'm sorry. Let's get back into this. Okay. Oh, as always, my ZC Cosmetics, powder. This is the Silk Shimmer Pressed Powder. It is a finishing powder. It is fantastic. I'm not wearing this today. I did this makeup with basically my second favorites because I didn't want to unpack this bag until I did this video. I use this daily. I don't touch any of my other powders because this is the best. This is literally my holy grail. I dread the day should they ever discontinue this, because it is incredible. Especially here in Okinawa, we have a daily humidity percentage of between 70 at the very, very lowest, but I've never seen it that low, to almost 90% humidity. So this is fantastic for that. It really is. You can cake your makeup on, you put this on, and it feels like you're wearing nothing. It feels like you're wearing nothing, and it really helps keep the oil at bay. It really does keep the oil at bay, both the oil that your body produces naturally, and also just water from the air settling onto your skin. It also helps your makeup not transfer onto your mask, which I know isn't a big problem in the States anymore, but here in Japan, we still wear masks everywhere. So that is a concern for me, at least. And I know that's a concern for a lot of people living here in Asia or in other countries where mask mandates still stand. So 100% recommend this. It is fantastic. It's a little spent on the spendy side when you have to order it in America, but I still recommend it. 100% recommend. Okay, talked on that long enough. Oh, let's move on to highlighters. I took 3 highlighters with me. Starting with this one, this is the Dreamland Highlighter Powder from ZC Cosmetics. This one is in shade H05. You see this wonderful pan embossing. This is my favorite highlighter for when I just want a kind of just a sheen. This adds no color. It doesn't have a white base. It literally just adds a sheen of almost wet looking sparkle. Not even sparkle, like shine, wherever you apply it. So if you don't think you're a highlighter person, or you think perhaps that you're too old for a highlighter, because I know that's a thing, I recommend this one. I do. I fully recommend this one. It's fantastic. You can put it on very lightly. You can layer it on. This is the best highlighter, I feel, for people who don't want to be very adventurous with their highlighters, like where they want it's a very good everyday highlighter. It's a very good everyday highlighter. It's not going to add a cast or a shade to your face at all. It's wonderful. I really, really enjoy this. So this is like my basic highlighter when I want to do like no makeup, or when I want to do something a little more nude leaning. This is the one I go for. Let's go to the complete opposite range. This is my Kaleidos Space Age Gifted highlighter. This is a multi-chrome highlighter. It is the exact opposite of the ZC one. This one has all of the shiftinesses. Its main shift is from pink to green. There are some other shifts in there, but that is the main one. This is my extra highlighter. Like, I have so many highlighters, I cannot even tell you, but the 2 of these are the sheer opposites on the spectrum as far as my personal highlighter collection goes. So you can tell I really tend to go towards extremes with my makeup. So I recommend like basically any highlighter from Kaleidos. Unfortunately, this is the only one I have, but it is pretty enigmatic of their highlighter formula. So if I can recommend this one, I can basically recommend all of them. Next up is the last highlighter that I brought. This is the Wet n Wild Care Bears Let Your Light Shine highlighter. This is just a really nice yellow highlighter. This one is a lot more, look at that belly badge on there. Oh, I love it. This is a very nice highlighter. It's like 2 shades north of basic. It can be just a light yellow sparkle, because it is very glittery. Or you can really layer it on to really get that golden glow. And I love that. Wet n Wild is probably my personal favorite drugstore highlighter brand, where I can just be like, oh yeah, that's Wet n Wild, a Wet n Wild highlighter. I'm gonna love that. Yeah, I really love it. I don't know if they sell it anymore. Last time I checked, it was still on the Wet n Wild website, but the Care Bear collection did sell out pretty quickly. I bought almost that entire collection. I didn't buy things like the face gems, but I bought pretty much everything else because I'm a huge Care Bear collector, and I've really been enjoying like basically the entire collection. So this is a good one. Let's see what else we have here. I brought a little mirror. This one folds out. The last 2, well, not the last 2 powders, but let's go with these. I'm kind of lumping these together. This is my favorite powder bronzer. This is the Sun-Kissed bronzer from Makeup Geek. Sadly, they are no longer in business. But this one personally is my holy grail. This is the one that I am already trying to replace because I know I can't rebuy this. Could not get that word out. Because I know I can't rebuy it, I'm already on the search for another one. Because I am so pale, I find it really hard to find just the right bronzer shade. They're either too red leaning or just plain too dark for me because I really need a neutral tone. So hence the experimenting with bronzers right now. I didn't end up using this one super much on my trip just because I already know that I love it. So I was trying to break myself into the idea of the putty bronzer. And I'm kind of thinking that I might like that one more, like that formula more than a powder bronzer. Time will tell. Time will tell. Next up, I also brought my just normal pressed powder. This is really nice for when I've accidentally put too much blush on or what have you. This is a great like skin colored powder for me. This is CoverGirl Clean Powder in the shade 105, which is Ivory. This has been a staple in my makeup bag for years. I used to contour with this in this shade and in a deeper shade. Like that's how long I've been using this product. It's just, I keep, like the use I use it for keeps evolving. So that is a really good one. This is the setting spray I brought with me. This is the Your Glam setting spray. You might remember this from my full face of Daiso makeup that I did, which is here on my channel. I think it's actually like, if you search for my username, if you search Queer Mom ACEINGIT on YouTube, it's the first video that pops up, which I find to be quite hilarious. But it's really compact and it works just as well as my previous Holy Grail one, which isn't really being ousted because I still really love that one. And per ounce, it's still a better deal than this one. But it is good to know that I can buy one locally that is a similar quality. This is the e.l.f. setting spray. That was my previous like Holy Grail. Now I have two, which is awesome. Especially because this comes in this tiny little bottle, and instead of trying to tote around my giant bulk bottle of e.l.f. setting spray, I can just take this little thing. So when it runs out, I'll probably fill it up with the e.l.f. one because I have like backlogs of it. The downside is that this one I do believe does have alcohol in it, which the e.l.f. one does not. I mention this because a dear friend of mine is allergic to alcohol. So that is now something that I am very aware of. I was not previously aware that isopropic alcohol was the main ingredient in a lot of setting sprays. And now that I am, I'm very hyper aware of that. So just a heads up, I'm pretty sure it has the ingredients on the back, but I can't read Japanese yet. So this is amazing. I got this on my last trip to the States, and this is now my ideal travel blush palette. Because all I have to do is take this, and I have like this whole range of blushes. This is in the shade 10. They don't currently sell it in other shades. It has this shimmer like highlighter shade here. It's also a really good blush topper, which is what I typically use it for because it's a shimmer. It's not a like a pow, a bright shine, which is what I look for in my highlighters. So it is a nice powder. I'm glad it's part of this collection. If I had made this, it would either be like a blinding highlighter or just another blush. I really love this. It's got this nice kind of coral color. So you've got your orange leaning blush, your mid-toned, like pinky, almost purple blush, and then this beautiful plum color. These are wonderful. They're very pigmented, but they're also very buildable. It's just, oh my goodness. I love this so much. This is my eyeshadow primer. It is the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. Sephora sent me a sample of this and I immediately fell in love. I'm like, that's it. I don't need to look further. I don't need to look further. They don't send this to Japan, which is so frustrating for me. But the last time I was in the States, I bought 2. So that should last me for a good long while. Now it is time to let the dog back in. Just a moment. Got my water while I was up. Okay, back to business. Let's see, let's go for the, oh, and then I keep being like, okay, now we're gonna do lipstick. Now we're gonna do lipstick. And it keeps being something else. This is the mascara that I'm using right now. I wouldn't call it a holy grail. It's just the one that I currently own that I like the best. This is the Act Natural mascara from ColourPop. It's a really good mascara. It is. It's a really good mascara and it's really good for the price. See that? I really like it. It's just, once again, it is ColourPop. It's also on its way out because I've had it long enough. It's going to be expiring here pretty darn soon. So I'll get to move on to something else. Okay, for reals this time, lipstick. Let's start with the one that I used the most, and that is the Kaleidos Lip Clay in the shade Terra. I wore this almost every single day. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I'm not going to swatch it. If you want swatches, you can watch my my series on swatching my lipsticks. This would be in the nudes section because I did a whole video, a whole series actually, where I swatched all of my entire lipstick collection as it stood at that moment. So that exists. The next one I brought was, because I don't go anywhere without a black lipstick. This is the new black bullet lipstick from Wet n Wild. They came out with a series of 4 of these at Halloween time. It was I brought with me this one and one more from that line. This is the shade, oh sorry, the black one is the shade Eerie Onyx. This one is like a gray lavender color. This is a shade Graveyard or Gravestone? Graveyard. I did put this on a couple of times. It did not react well. Okay, my lips are doing something really weird. The one day I wore an outfit that this would have gone so good with. And it just, I've worn it before and it works on my lips just fine. But for some reason, that day it would just not apply. And I'm like, okay, we're giving up. We're wearing Terra again. So, yeah. I also brought 2 Fenty lipsticks. I brought the shades Ya Dig, which is this lovely periwinkle color. Didn't end up wearing it. I threw it in because it's small and I really love it. But I mostly ended up wearing like reds and nudes for lips the whole time I was there. This is the shade Griselda. This is like my perfect red shade. I think I wore that like every day of like the actual holidays. I think I wore this like Christmas Eve, Christmas, and the day after Christmas I wore this. Really, really love that. And then I brought this lip gloss. This is a Wet n Wild lip gloss from their Peanuts collection. I think they have multiple lip glosses. So this is lip gloss December Snowflakes. It smells, yeah, it smells like peppermint, but like fake peppermint, if that makes any sense. I was gonna wear this the same day that I was gonna wear Graveyard, and it just did not work. I'm glad I brought it because it would have gone well with all of the lipsticks I brought. And just, isn't it such a cute, like, wintry lip gloss? I'm glad I brought it, even though I didn't end up wearing it. Okay, now we're going to get into sticks. I don't know where this came from. Oh, it came from this other one. So I am starting to get into lip liners recently. So I brought a number of lip liners. Let me just pull out the lip liners. Okay, so I brought these 3 lip liners. I have this one from Your Glam. I think it's in the shade 05. It's this pretty pink color. I would use this all the time with the shade Terra, and it looked so cute. This is also a really nice long-lasting formula. So if you find this on Yes Style, the Your Glam lip liner, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. I don't know what, again, don't know what they're priced on Yes Style, but especially if you find them here in Japan, snap them up. They're really good. I have 2 She Glam ones here in the shade 01 and 204. I know how a lot of people feel, this is 204, about She Glam, and I totally understand. Just at the time, that is what I could afford, and I didn't want to spend, this is 01. It's a very nice dark red. I would wear this with the Fenty lipstick Griselda, and it worked out perfectly. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a product that I was not sure that I was ever going to use. So that's part of the reason that I purchased them from She Glam. Getting into eyeliners and one brow product. We'll go with the brow product first. This is the Maybelline Express Brow. I don't know if it specifically has a color, or if it did have a color and it's now completely worn off, but this is the darkest brown that they sell. The one thing I really like about this is that it's got the powder end, and that's the end that I usually use. I really have been enjoying powder eyebrow products. So this currently is my holy grail because it is the closest to my actual eyebrow color that I've been able to find. The other eyeliners I brought, or all of these, I brought the, this is the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner. This is the shade Screamin'. I really like this. I really like this. I didn't end up using it because it just wasn't a neon kind of a trip, if that makes any sense. It just didn't end up going with any of the looks I ended up wearing. This is my current Holy Grail felt tip black liner. This is the Game Beauty. It is in collaboration with Aki Dearest. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. I have not tried the new Game Beauty eyeliners with their Persona 5 collab. I really hope they're the same formula because I really, really like this. I really like this. So this is really good. This is really good. I also brought, this is the Maybelline Unstoppable eye pencil in Onyx. These, I am particularly fond of a liquid eyeliner or a felt tip eyeliner at the moment. But these eye pencils, these kohl pencils, are perfect for when you want a smoky eye look. So I always keep one around. They're much better in the waterline than a liquid eyeliner. So, I mean, what's the point of bringing 2 different black eyeliners? I actually bought 3, so shush. The other one is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof eyeliner. This one I thought was a felt tip. No, it's a brush tip. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't want to get it on my fingers. It's actually a brush tip applicator. And I'm not sure that brush tip is specifically for me. I'm not sure. I brought this because I'm still giving it a chance, and I knew I'd be wearing a lot of black eyeliner, especially on my top lid. So I brought this with the intention of trying it out and using it. And I did wear it a couple of days, but I didn't end up using it as much as I was going to try to like see how I felt about it. So This is a ColourPop BFF eyeliner. This is in the shade Insomniac. Me. This is a bright pink. I wore this a couple of days. I really enjoy a neon pink eyeliner. I really do. This is my holy grail white eyeliner. This is the NYX retractable eyeliner in the shade, in white. I don't know if it has, yeah, the shade is white. They're not lying. This is the best one I have found for the waterline. Amazing. This got thrown in because it showed up. It showed up the day I was getting ready to leave. Let me swatch this for you. I'm going to swatch this one for you. It is a pearlescent white glitter eyeliner. How cool is that? I would put it like right here as like an inner corner highlight. So cool. This is also a, yeah, this is also a brush tip applicator. This is a, excuse me, Yukami eyeliner. See here. This is a Asian brand. They are everywhere on AliExpress. Some of the stuff that's labeled from them, I'm not sure actually is, because it's pretty clearly knockoff products, but they could just be a duping company. Don't know. I really like this. So, and it stays in place all day. And it's a little buildable, but it's never gonna build to actual opacity. So that is a really fun product. Okay, so we're gonna get into eyeshadow palettes, not products. Eyeshadow palettes. Let's start with the ones that I didn't end up using. I brought this. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Tropic palette. This is the only one that I own. I got it on a severe discount, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just try it. It's okay. It's okay. And I was kind of at ground zero for the whole Natasha Denona isn't actually vegan fiasco. Yes. So she's kind of in the naughty corner right now. But it's so small and it's nice and colorful, so I brought it. But every time I looked at it, all I could think of is the trials that Steven went through with them, and I'm just like, there just was nothing good enough in here to tempt me to use it when I could use other things. So that didn't end up getting used. This one, I really wanted to use this, but I just didn't end up wearing anything that I was like, yes, today I'm going to wear purple eyeshadow. This is the Rock Candy. This is the Punk monochromatic shadows. They come in like 4 different colors. Each one is imprinted with a different word. I know there's also one that's called like Wink and stuff like that. I really love this. This is you can see it in my hands. This is such a tiny little palette. This satin here isn't too much to write home about. This shimmer here is pretty awesome. And then these two here are just fantastic. So when you find these stateside, I think they're like $3 or something. They're similarly priced to the e.l.f. quads. I like these better. Just gonna be honest, I like these better. They have the color stories speak to me more, and they're so tiny. I thought, oh, this is gonna be perfect to travel with, and then I didn't end up using it at all. All right, here we have 2 of the only ColourPop palettes that I left undepotted after the whole Harry Potter thing. It is, what is this? Big Poppy and Little Ray of Sunshine. These color stories they're both all matte palettes, and they just really speak to me. Like these are pretty much my ideal neutral palettes as far as all mattes go. They are great to have around. There's a reason I didn't depot them, is because when I reach for, it's like, oh, well, I'd like some neutrals to build around this special shade. These are the color stories that I'm going for. I'm either going for yellow leaning browns or orange leaning browns. So I really like these. I used them multiple times on the trip. I could easily do looks I'd be super happy with just using either one of them. The only problem is their color pop. So if you have these, I recommend pulling them out. If you don't have them, I recommend looking elsewhere. Because ColourPop's, let's just be real, ColourPop's formula is nothing to write home about. You can get it elsewhere. Their color stories are not all that special. Their packaging is always really cute, but word from the wise, never buy something because of the packaging. You'll end up not using it, and then you'll just be really sad. All right. Next one is the all-star of my trip. That is the Gourmand Girls Galactic Gourmand palette. I use this every single day except for one. Look at how well loved she is. I need to clean this up. I'm probably going to clean this up and then do a before and after reel on my Instagram. I might turn it into a short for YouTube. Is it not just fantastic? Oh my goodness. Once again, code ACEINGIT. Did I ever say that? I don't think I said that. Guys, so exciting. I have my first discount code. So what had happened, let me tell you, okay, story time. So what had happened was I was standing in line with my family to go on the new Spider-Man experience at Disney California Adventure. And the lady in front of me would not stop staring at me. And I'm like, is she judging me for being in a mobility stroller? Like, my dude, I'm super disabled. No, she was obsessed with my eyeshadow. We ended up spending the whole rest of the line talking about makeup. I talked her into this palette because it was the one that I was wearing. Because, I mean, 6 super special shades for $35. You are not going to find that anywhere else. You're really not. And this is ideal for traveling. You can take this and a matte and a small matte palette. You are golden. You'll be able to come up with just the most incredible, most unique looks. Anyway, she bought it before she left the park, and I was telling Christina, the owner of Gourmand Girls, who happens to be a very good friend of mine, that this had happened. And she goes, your friend actually bought that. Not my friend, total stranger, but she apparently bought it before she even left the park. And I was like, ooh, maybe I could ask, like, I just sold one of these palettes for her. Maybe I could actually ask her for a discount code. You know, I'm really small. I've got 12 subscribers here. At the time, I only had 150 followers on Instagram, but I was like, hey, like, you don't know if you don't ask, right? She offered one to me. I got my own discount code. So if you want to go get one of these, it's $35 regular price, or you can use the code ACEINGIT and get some money off. How exciting is that? Oh, I'm so excited. It's like I'm legitimate now. Anyway, all like promotion aside, I really, really, really love this palette. I love like every shade in it, as you can fully tell. Like, I think it's pretty clear that I'm not like just spouting BS when I've got these major dips in this. I really love this, fully recommend it. Sorry for the long tangent. They're like, okay, I brought 2 other palettes with me. I brought the Fantasy Cosmetica Druid palette. Just look at her. I have created some of the most beautiful grungy looks with this palette. I've also created some really nice, subtle, neutral looks with this palette. This palette, a few different people called it their top palette of 2022. I can definitely see it. I can definitely see it. This was Fantasy Cosmetica's first palette, and it blew me away. It really did. Like, it's almost impossible to make a muddy mess of this when you put it on your face. They almost blend themselves. It is incredible. Fully recommend this. Sadly, I do not have a discount code, but I know quite a few people do. So Fantasy Cosmetica, I've heard they're coming out with really good things coming here in 2023. So really excited to see what that is. All right, this one. This is the Odin's Eye Annette, Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. Their collab palette, Giant Wolves. I love this palette. This was my favorite indie palette for a good while. Look at that. I mean, I could have just brought this. Honestly, the thing that kept me from just bringing this was I wanted to bring some more neutrals in case I was really feeling that. And I wanted to bring the Galactic Gourmand because I wanted some different textures and other kinds of special shades to play with. So I ended up bringing quite a few eyeshadow palettes. They're all very small, but I ended up wearing this shade, Astral. I wore that almost every day. It's really a very perfect inner corner highlight. This is my other favorite in this palette, as you can tell, the big old dip. I really love this palette. I really do. I love that it's shaped like a little book. Oh, it makes me so happy. But yes, sadly, this one is not available anymore. But Odin's Eye just yesterday announced their coming singles collection. So I'm really hoping for, you know, this formula of shimmer. If that is the formula for their singles that they're using, they're going to be amazing. Well, that is everything that I took with me makeup-wise on my month-long trip to the States. I hope you enjoyed this rather long-winded video. And I hope I get to see you back here soon. Yeah. Please like and follow. Like I said, I've only got 12 followers. My goal is to make it up to 50 so I can start doing Get Ready With Me's live here on YouTube. So please help me get to my goal. And even if not, I hope to see you here again. Bye.